What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over my top 5 most anticipated movies of 2021. So, I really love movies. I really love talking about movies. This year had a very big lack of movies, but there are many movies coming out in 2021. Some of them are very high runners up. I do want to kind of give them a little bit of credit before we get in this top 5 list, and then I will go into it. By the way, all of these movies on this list, I will be covering, and even movies that aren't on this list, I do want to cover. I kind of pick and choose movies based off of my own interest in them, but I know maybe a lot of people look at this channel as a gaming channel. That's probably right too, but I do love to cover, and I do cover movies quite often. So really quickly, before I jump in, if you guys do like this stuff, make sure you're subscribed, make sure the bell icon is turned on. If you guys want to follow my Twitter account, PodcastNow15 is my Twitter user. Podcast Now was taken, those lucky dogs, but PodcastNow15 is my name. All right. Two runners up I want to say. Quiet Place Part 2 and Black Widow. And Black Widow, I think, is going to be one that a lot of people would be like, wow, that's not in your top 5. The reason really is, well, number one, I'm really excited for Black Widow, so it does deserve to be on this. Again, just because it's not in my top 5 doesn't mean I'm not, anticipating it, but I really am excited. I just think the biggest thing is, like, the staleness of it, the idea, the same kind, not necessarily with Wonder Woman, because at least we got Wonder Woman by now, even though I didn't love the movie, but like Black Widow was supposed to come, then it was supposed to come, then it was supposed to, and it keeps getting delayed, and it's just like, all right, just come out already. Like, we're gonna be watching it, and we're gonna say, wow, I would have loved to watch this movie a year ago, and I feel like for anticipation, like for my anticipation level, that kind of hurts it. Same thing with Quiet Place Part 2. I think Quiet Place Part 1 or Quiet Place is really, really good. Hopefully they can nail it with the second one. But again, it's like, well, I was actually going to watch this movie. It was going to come out the week I got married this past year. So I was like, all right, we're going to get married, then we're going to go watch this movie. And it didn't happen. So it's like, well, that sucks. So again, that kind of hurts it. All right, these are kind of all over the place. People aren't necessarily going to agree, and that's okay. I want to hear from you guys in the comments what your list is. Number 5, Spider-Man 3. The reason it's so low is kind of just because the other movies that I put on here, but also because, look, Far From Home was not the greatest movie of all time. I think people can probably agree with that, right? There was a lot of problems with it, and for as excited as I am to see about 50 cast members, like 50 main characters in this new Spider-Man movie, at the same time, when you say that, it kind of sounds a little bit silly. Don't you agree? And that's kind of where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited to see the other Spider-Men. I'm excited to see villains and dead people and all this stuff from past Spider-Man universes return, okay? That's fine. At the same time, is Tom Holland going to be in this movie? Is Zendaya going to be in this movie, right, as MJ? Like, what are these characters going to be doing, right? We kind of know from rumors, maybe the first part of the movie is going to be him trying to clear his name. Daredevil will probably be in it, right? Charlie Cox is Daredevil. So, like, there's a lot of potential to be amazing and to see things in this movie we've never seen in any movie ever, okay? But at the same time, I just think that movies that have a lot of cast of characters, they really, you can only do it two ways. You can either like handle it and the characters will do well and you can still tell a coherent story, or there's too many characters for the thing and you just end up, it collapses, okay? And so one of those two things I do think is going to happen with the Spider-Man movie, and that's why it's a little terrifying to me. Number 4, Uncharted. So this is mainly just because of the game, okay? If you guys are new to the channel, Uncharted 4 is my favorite game of all time, and Uncharted as a franchise is my favorite gaming franchise of all time. I adore the franchise to death. I would do anything for those games, and for the people that made these games, for Nolan North, all these people. They did such a tremendous job. Love, hopefully, to see another one, not necessarily with Nathan Drake, but just to see another Uncharted game. This movie, we just had Monster Hunter. I watched Angry Joe's review of it. It actually got me excited. Like, I want to watch Monster Hunter, and I will eventually. But, I'm going in with this differently than people went into Monster Hunter, especially him and other Joe and Alex that reviewed Monster Hunter. They talked about they just wanted dumb fun. They wanted it to not hurt the Monster Hunter brand. I guess some of that is what I want with the Uncharted movie, but the Uncharted movie does have, to me, very high stakes or expectations where it's like, no, I'm not going in just hoping that you don't destroy Uncharted. If you are doing this, if you're going to tell not an origin tale, but if you're going to tell a prequel to an Uncharted 1, you better do it good. Like, everything better make sense. You better not, enter, like, bad territory with these games. Like, you need to do it right. So this one is easily the most, like, back and forth of, like, it could be absolutely terrible. I could be so, like, you can never see me so mad, besides, like, going to see this this movie. So we'll have to see how that goes. That'll be a lot of fun when that movie actually does come out, because we really don't know which way it'll roll. But I am very, very excited to see if they'll end up pulling it off. Number 3, Mission Impossible 7. So there's also Top Gun coming out. This is Tom Cruise's year, right, in 2021. But no, Mission Impossible 7, not a lot I can say about it because we don't know too much about it besides like the cast. But, you know, I haven't watched Mission Impossible from the beginning. In fact, I don't even think I've watched the first 4. I feel like maybe going into 7, I should go back and watch all of them. I know they were always pretty solid movies, but they really started to reach, I would say, a new level around Mission Impossible 5. That's when I started. I watched 5 and 6, and you know, I think they do the spy action kind of thing better than truly any other movies. Real, like, honestly, like Kingsman does it, like they do it better than that. You know, James Bond, I think they do it like 10 times better than that. So I really, I love these films so much, at least the last 2 of them. I see no reason why Mission Impossible 7 would be any lower than that. So can't wait to see it. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed, or hopefully nothing happens to it. You know, obviously I think they're still filming, but they should be wrapping up soon. So really, just this one is like, I think it's going to be really good. This one's going to be, I would say, the most consistently, like, higher level, where the other ones maybe would kind of fall apart. Although, I mean, some of these other ones may not. Number 2 is The Suicide Squad. So I didn't expect, like, when I think of 2021, one of the movies that always comes into my head, like, almost first thing, is this movie. I don't really know why. I mean, Suicide Squad, that movie, like, I didn't like it all. I don't want to lie to you. When I first saw the movie, I did actually really like it. Saw it a couple more times, was like, it's not as good. I don't hate the movie, but I don't love the movie. Okay, like I guess I did, like, the first time I saw it. I see the multiple problems that this movie has. Okay, but, you know, thinking about this movie, I mean, again, this is another example of, like, the cast, right? There's so many people. Now, who knows who's going to actually live or die, right? They could trim this cast down pretty darn fast, but there's so many recognizable names. There's so many cool characters that we've either seen before or we've never seen before, or like we've seen in comics but we haven't seen in movies. And James Gunn, I have conflicting feelings about him, like, as a person, but I can tell you as a director, you know, what he can do, Guardians of the Galaxy, etc. Like, he's really good. So I feel confident that they're going to nail just a fun kind of vibe where it will have emotion, it will have an impact on you, but it is also just going to be like a really fun blockbuster movie. I'm excited to see that. I'm really, really excited to see that. Again, like, a lot of the cast, they're all very good actors and actresses, right? So I'm really, again, this could very well suck, but I'm very much interested in it. And then number 1, I would say pretty easily, and this is gonna maybe have, you know, I saved this to the end, obviously, but I think this is gonna make people mad. Fast and Furious 9, F9. So you know, you'll have to, this is like a deep cut thing. If you watch this channel for, I would say, almost a year, you would have already known this was the answer. This was my most anticipated movie going into 2020. I did videos when they did the trailer, the very first trailer. It actually was the biggest video on my channel in 2020, was the video not reacting, but like analyzing the trailer for F9. So yeah, it's not because of that, but I love this franchise to death. This is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I get it's not for everybody. That's why this is a personal list, right? But I'm just, you know, this movie, now this is different, see, than like Black Widow. I mean, it's not. I should have the same feelings about it, and maybe I will, but I'm going to try to not care as much, because you could say the same thing for this as I said for Black Widow and for Quiet Place Part 2, where it's like, well, you're going to see it and you're going to say, man, I really wish I would have seen this last year. True. Hopefully that doesn't hurt, like, the quality of this movie. And also, a blessing in disguise is this movie seemingly being delayed has given us 2 more movies. Remember, it was going to be F9 and F10. It was going to be like a back-to-back thing, and that was it. That's where the, now there was going to be spin-off movies, but that's where the franchise was going to end. Turns out, over this last year, they've delayed it. They have said, well, now it's F10 and F11, and then they're done. So we actually got another Fast and Furious movie, and that's, to me, that's amazing. To a lot of people, I know they'd probably want to stick a knife in their eyes, okay? So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Are you excited for any of these movies that I said? What's your personal list? Let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And again, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. Would love to have you guys over there. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.